To sport.
What a fairy tale story here. There they are, the champions of Africa.
And entertainment and simple tourism with plenty other issues.
Get ready for the roller coaster ride. So we day-to-day story them as we dive deep into the heart of the matter.
Every weekday on Slick Television, Channel 37 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Tune in and stay informed like never before.
The Today Show, only on Slick Television. We quote Nyasu where to go through the theory about how safeguarding the rights of others are the most noble and beautiful end of any human being. They say safeguarding the rights of others is the most noble and beautiful end of a human being. Because in life generally, if you feel everything should be about you, then you miss the point. Why stretch my hand so if somebody there and what's my hand stop and then the other person face day. So I have to be very mindful how I stretch my hand so that I not go hit the next person face. And call out the limitation. Anyways, welcome to the Today Show, the Thursday edition for this week. Mina Patrick Salia. Today we take a look at the state of human rights in Salone, the challenges, the progress, and what much more we need for do for improve the situation of the country. We will talk to the Human Rights Commission of Salone on this, and we talk to Amnesty International with on the record issues of abuses and violations, and also on the profile recommendations on how for better the situation in the country. Much more analysis will come to you after this break.
Yeah! Make some noise for Cannibal in the building! Let's get it!
Watch out.
Yeah.
Cali.
Yeah. Cali.
Where did this, where did that, where did
5
I can skull get son
like a Paulo.
I send sense kill beats, let them die.
Say what?
Let them wear children, let them die.
Say what?
Me swag na like good on a big.
Ah!
No feel, no goal, but I kick game.
Hit it!
Any same way I ball on a big game.
What?
Not a complex man for a big game.
Alright!
I learn then I go to
Why?
go back to school when I take
Make some noise!
on the beats like a man.
Say what?
Call me Machiavelli, I'm a hype.
Ah!
You swag na the city, you na babe.
Yeah!
You have fun over me in a bottle.
Ah!
Sammy team no get laugh, we don't take shit.
Epo!
Any same way I battle, I go take
It's Cali!
game ball hard na the next.
Say what?
This nigga come get me the game.
Ah!
Get me the game.
Say what?
Ask Cali only mic them go.
Ah what?
Them a boy have fake currency.
Say what?
I only what I want, man can't see.
What's it?
At some slow na 8 man can't see.
Say what?
Them a mommy twice.
Man can shine!
Man go heaven.
Man can help!
You feeling my man can't see.
Say what?
Papa God forgive me at the moment.
Ah!
So reading through a number of reports on the net and in printed documents, I don't come across some good, bad, and ugly sides of Salone human rights records. However, there is some amount of progress, even though the challenges seem to be very enormous. For instance, in terms of rule of law, and in governance, and say you get the rule of law, you get the three arms where they're supposed to be separated, the executive, legislature, and the judiciary. But according to several reports where I don't go through about Salone, they not seem for the apart from each other. So one person giving instruction to the other, hence violating and causing some one or two other disruptions here and there. So in terms of rule of law, for example, for 2024, last year, World Justice Projects indicate, say, Salone 110 out of 142 countries where they survey. And in terms of, well, at the regional level, we are 18 out of 34 countries. For take you through a bit more, 2023, just about the election year, the United States Department put out a report on the Salone state of human rights. So among the things when they catalog, they say there were no significant changes in the human rights situation in Sierra Leone. There were no significant changes in the human rights situation in Sierra Leone during the year, meaning the way how Salone human rights record be done the previous year or previous years remained the same. And says significant human rights issues included credible reports of arbitrary and unlawful killings, harsh and life-threatening prison conditions, arbitrary arrest and detention, political prisoners and detainees, substantial interference with freedom of peace, peaceful assembly, serious government corruption, extensive gender-based violence, including domestic and intimate partner violence, sexual violence, child early and forced marriage, and female genital mutilation or courting, laws criminalizing same-sex sexual conduct between adults, though not enforced, and crimes involving violence or threats of violence targeting lesbian, gays, and blah, blah, blah. Then said, though, the government took some steps to identify and punish officials who may have committed human rights abuses, but impunity persists. Underline that, but impunity persists. Some of the things we mentioned, now arbitrary arrest, deprivation of life, and other unlawful and politically motivated killings. They catalog the periods with that and other things happen. Then talk about disappearance, even though they say no disappearance was reported that very year. But they mention, say, there were tortures and other cruel, inhuman or degrading treatments or punishment that were meted out on some Sierra Leoneans the previous year and that year. And they also go ahead for, say, prison and detention center conditions remain harsh. So that remained also a challenge. Abusive physical conditions also were reported. Then go on for, say, that the Human Rights Commission and Prison Watch Sierra Leone report overcrowding and unhygienic conditions at the prison facilities, among several other things. They say arbitrary arrest or detention, arrest procedures and treatment detainees were kind of violated, among other things. Arbitrary arrest was also catalogued among a whole lot of other things. So remember, in November last year, also, a legal advocacy group called Advocate it was some time before that, before last year, let me take the government of Salone to court, to the ECOWAS court. So they win a case against the government of Salone over minor, which some of them consider for be minor Lloyd scheme cases. So this was, for example, in November 7. See, they put out this press release. They say, in a landmark judgment, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Community Court of Justice, has ruled in favor of Advocate in a case filed against the Republic of Sierra Leone. The case challenged Sierra Leone's discriminatory loitering laws, which Advocate argued unjustly targets the poor and vulnerable and violates fundamental human rights. This is not just one of several instances where people only report about Salone human rights abuses and violations. And now, fast forward, just about last week, among the several other incidents reported about violations and abuse in the country, a journalist working for a sister TV station, AYV, was reportedly manhandled by state security personnel. Pepper spray and one or two other things meted on him, allegedly, while carrying out his duties. And that's not the first time they don't report about the state security apparatus violating the rights of citizens. In fact, over the period, there have been recommendations by different organizations in their reports for against police brutality. Police reforms have been recommended numerously, but we don't get the effective change where we suppose for the see out of the reports and the recommendation and this part of all we do analyze and much more, the form part of the conversation here on Slick TV right now. Let's talk to Ja Kai Kai, the man in charge of programs na Amnesty International, na Salone. Mr. Kaikai, good afternoon and welcome to today's show on Slick Television, sir.
Good afternoon and welcome.
So we'll talk to Millicent Kagbo, the Deputy Director of Communications in the Human Rights Commission shortly. Over the years, the Human Rights Commission of Salone don't they publish what they call the state of human rights in Salone, where they paint the good, bad, and ugly sides of how abuses and violations are being meted out on Sierra Leoneans and by Sierra Leoneans. And the Human Rights Commission also still maintain the grade A status. Now the Human Rights Council, where they're in Geneva. So meaning they still get a seat. Well, probably they don't have it anymore. We can clarify that among other things. And why so? So we don't make inroads in terms of those accolades internationally, but domestically or nationally, there are these reports where they paint some not so nice picture about the country between and among Sierra Leoneans, violating each other's rights and abusing each other. Mr. Kaikai, in terms of the overall picture of the human rights states in Salone, what are you going to say with day as of now, based on our assessments nationwide, periodically?
Thank you, Mr. Salia. Make we first, set the base. Because we talk about complex situation.
Yes.
And that if not a complex situation we talk, we get for look at the lens for critical in the most way or at least could be so transparent. Now, going back for Sierra Leone, if we understand one thing, say Sierra Leone don't make inroads greatly internationally, and that interestingly, 2024 we see outside Sierra Leone, then we elect Sierra Leone for be a member of the United Nations Security Council as one of the non-permanent members. Salone take that position after 53 years. I think it was 1970 to 71 where Salone gets that kind of opportunity there. That alone, further now we cap. And not tap the Sierra Leone, I think that the chair for the African Commission for see that the C10 owner Salone and the current chair for see reforms and take place in the Security Council. That again positions Sierra Leone globally. And not tap the 2 years back we see that they again reaffirm the grade A status to Salone through the Human Rights Commission. Beats them all don't build Sierra Leone globally. And not tap the we don't see where progressive laws have been made. We don't even see outside some laws and like including the death penalty, the abolition, and we law books them. Then when they all don't take place. But in as much as they want to take place, other issues them they domestically one of grave concern to us. And that if we continue for peer pressure and see say reforms and take place, then till they not continue for the happen.
Such as?
Such one, you look at police accountability. Still, we see the rampant police brutality that take place. How the demand handle not only civilians, but equally you see journalists that fall prey to their kind of situations them here. Even the right to peaceful protest is questionable in this country. You know, you say people there for protest, but if they want protest, they for go first and take police clearance. All them things them get issues they already look at. If you look at the Public Order Act of 1965, I think Part 3 gets questions on that. And so if the state authorities or state apparatus them still continue for suppress the civilians and for express them views, meaning it's a concern to us. And not tap there again, if they talk about the loitering, who advocate goals, the government now ECOWAS court and rule in favor for again in loitering, where you look at them, they really try for CC it suppress people's rights, right to freedom, all that kind of thing there. And we don't come find out say then they use them wrongly. And so now ECOWAS don't pass decision for saying, no, this particular law that they use not human rights friendly. But the crux here is they don't pass this law, and everybody is quiet about it. Now we foresee, say, peer pressure that government domesticate and ensure, say, in fact, they remove that kind area from the law.
But then again, for take steps and time.
Yeah, it takes steps and time. It's continued advocacy, continued engagement. Because we started the death penalty campaign around 1977, just a few years back.
2020.
Yeah. Okay, so it can still continue, but we know the hope for making it belong so, because not just shooting. And then you find out, say, through that law treaty, that really they violate the rights of, especially with women there. And so all that kind of things then they at play. And not tap there. In as much as we talk about police accountability, police brutality, I mean, 2 months back, I think I came here with a try for talk about the detention centers there. And one will come out as a notorious center, and the one called Benghazi, right? Just imagine the name. You go take foreign name for campus.
You mean the police facility in
police facility,
OSD headquarters? OSD
headquarters. In fact, now a church of center. A lot of people don't go and they come out there, or deals them whether they go through, not fine for listening to, a negative. And if you look at monitoring centers, detention centers, then you go for go monitor, you see places are overcrowded, you know, the facilities are not there. And in fact, that is why transformation already take place. Say, no, this was prison. Now make a turn out for be a correctional. Because when you go there, you would expect say
for transform somebody for come out. But the facilities them for make people transform, then we get for look into all that kind of thing there. So basically, if you look at the human rights situation, indeed, we get some areas in positive, and we have huge chunk of negativities in other areas there. And a lot of people will tell you, say, some of these incidents, in fact, where they happen, they're not peculiar to Salone. In fact, some other countries where they're in the West, the worst they even happened there.
Sure. We recently launched the State of the Human Rights Global Report, right? Generally, the picture, the trend don't go down back. And you find out, say, the authoritarian regimes them don't so the Baku now, that the gains made don't go dwindle down. And in fact, the election of the United States president don't compound the problem. It has its own lens where they look at things. And so all them things are concerned globally now in. Now so things that happen. But again, we know for continue the global trend. Before ensure say this country don't go through
a bad example.
Yeah, this country don't go through war. And that experience, the war experience, now most of them things they are lead to the war. And so we not for repeat and we forget lessons that we learn from that war, or for make we not repeat them again. And so we for put things in place and ensure say peace in this country, ensure say people their rights are respected, ensure say they don't violate the rights of people.
Okay. Let's talk to Millicent Kago, we are the Deputy Director of Communications at the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone. Then annually can prepare holistically a report where they capture how human rights situation in the country and call on State of Human Rights in Salone. Welcome, Millicent. Good afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Is it still all gloomy? Is it still, we still get due where they over human rights at Salone nationally as in our reports capture? Where's in the state right now as we talk?
Okay, so thank you for having me. First of all, we need to know, when they talk about the state of human rights, what are the responsibility of the state itself? We can start with that one day. So states them all over the world get a responsibility for protect, promote, respect, and fulfill human rights. How do they do that one day? They do them by the laws them, the policies them, whether they enact, and how then laws and policies then they change the individuals, them or citizens, their life, people that within the country generally. If we talk about state of human rights, we get for begin from that point there. Waiting at the laws them where we get, and waiting at the impact of them laws then on everyday life of human beings or people living in Sierra Leone. The colleague from Amnesty don't name some things then we think in a positive laws them, but we can go back the primary law for human rights, na the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, na the UDHR. After the UDHR, we get the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights. After that, they will get the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. Then one day, then called them the bedrock for human rights. When are they all way to they enjoy so for human rights elected they start. But how country like Salone don't make sure say then thing they are so then laws they are when are human rights, international human rights laws them, citizens then benefit from them. Make we all know say Sierra Leone na a dualistic state. Waiting that they mean? It means say laws them because we are party to international and local laws them, you know, bilateral, multilateral laws them.
Which we don't have for domesticate.
Exactly. So because we're a dualistic state, then laws then they go sign out yonder when international laws them. We need for bring them kind of country we domesticate them, which my brother here talk about. When we domesticate and through parliament, now the tell we they begin see benefit of them laws then they. We get plenty laws then we don't sign up to, but not to all we don't domesticate. The one that we don't domesticate, how then laws then they don't create impact now citizens then life, we generally will look at and say, well, because of them thing there, the state of human rights is good in Sierra Leone. So for example, if you look under the Convention on the elimination of all forms of discrimination against women and girls, when at the CEDAW, where Salone signing can domesticate. Where they find out, say, that CEDAW law, where they sign at international, don't get plenty laws that way Salone don't come up with. For example, the Devolution of Estates Act, the Child Rights Act, the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Act, we can recently, the Sexual Offences Act as amended 2019.
And Prohibition of Child Marriage Act.
Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, we safe don't come. So we see from the international level, we don't bring a camp.
Down and did on paper, but practically, if you go to the ground, if you go to communities, they are not as they are in the law. For example, prohibition of child marriage. In fact, the bulk of the country's population within the interior, in fact, persistent has been reported. I'm sure it did want to notice as you might.
So that's another part I will come to later. So but I'm just trying to establish yes.
Practice versus waiting in the laws,
exactly.
Waiting supposed what they do.
And the state responsibility versus citizens, they also then self-responsibility because it's not only the state that has a responsibility for make sure say human rights be what it's supposed to be. So now we then laws then they we don't get the GIWI law, for example. Maybe I can just zero in on the GIWI law. We don't see more women in a parliament, you know. So how those members of parliament we don't did it now, they make sure say people then are in constituency then they enjoy human rights. It's not only to have the law. We have the law. Now the law don't bring this in place. So waiting now with individual responsibilities as stakeholders, as individuals for make sure say then laws then they go down and people then benefit from then laws then they. Now, if we talk about the Sexual Offences Act, we don't see plenty case them where don't they come up. We even get the model courts where they fast track then case then they. But again, when they see citizens then they come and say no, one for settle out of court.
And I don't read a report from the judiciary of Sierra Leone. The number of cases between 2023 and 2024, then get about close to 200 cases, so about 200 and something cases. But out of the number of cases, that there are only about 9 they're able for complete.
Exactly.
Complete. Some of them they end up acquit and discharge. Some of them then convict and then sentence the perpetrators. So you imagine out of such quantum.
Exactly.
The number where they're able for process. So you begin ask yourself, come on, what's the problem? What's the problem there?
So that's it. We're talking about human rights.
So you cannot see like when they say kill dog before dog, yeah, let dog no say die there. Then people will continue for violate or abuse each other.
Exactly. So with the state of human rights not only rests with the government. Namika they explain all of them things there. So we self get right for. I mean we get responsibility as citizens. Now they talk about the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, where they don't pass recently.
Yeah.
Okay, then from one end we will say the popularization may not have gone down to community level. We make with the see where to still they see so something pop up on social media. Then this they will also see of a child marriage something like that one day. And plenty other things then they will go.
First.
Yes, first. Forced marriage, yes, forced marriage, you know. So we get plenty of things the way they happen. So the holistic state of human rights in the country, from all of them things that even we as a commission, through we monitoring them, what we they do, what they gonna like detention centers, we they gonna health facilities, schools them, and with public awareness raising, people the way they come with complaints to we, issues that they see on social media, where we they go into them complaints, then they show say, yes, from one end, we don't make so many strides. We don't get laws then where they in place for make sure say people that enjoy their human rights, like how they talk about the GIWI, the Child Rights Act, the Sexual Offences Act, Devolution of Estates Act, and all of them laws they are this so. Other than they in charge for the people that enjoy them laws they are so. They are Sierra Leoneans, they are people. And then how we as citizens they make sure say we go in for enjoy them laws they are so and waiting our own responsibility. Well, we could say from waiting with the see and waiting with the do, we don't work how they do that. The state of human rights in Sierra Leone, I mean, stands at a good place because, you know, they only measure the state of human rights by the things that they see around we saw, but also how Sierra Leone they meet in international, you know, obligations them to human rights. That's also key. Not to only wait with the scenario. And with regards to anything, we know Sierra Leone stand in a good place, but yet we get so much more we need for them.
Hence the reason the Human Rights Commission, for example, still get a place in the Human Rights Council?
Yes, the Human Rights Commission still a grade A human rights institution. We mean say with the SIDOM, OSI, with the with other grade A human rights institutions,
for take
key decisions them we border on human rights. Not forget say we don't work what they do. We also they check what in government they do. How government they meet obligations to human rights. The laws the way they don't sign into, even inside the country, with the reports the way the country get for the produce and send for make sure say they meet those obligations. We are working with institutions on all of that. So we as an institution, they make sure say we follow through within governments they do. Then also they also remind the citizens then say for enjoy your human rights, remember say you get a responsibility. Now the holistic of waiting governments do right, waiting the citizens then do right, now they make get a perfect or a good state of human rights.
Mr. Kakai, you want to agree with Millicent on a fair level that we enjoy some very good human rights records?
Yeah, sure. Make us look at things this way, that there's a benchmark set at international level. So that international standards, then they will set. In fact, if we talk about Sierra Leone being a great country through the Human Rights Commission, 10 out of 15 countries in West Africa that are status, right? And that Sierra Leone is still a push for at least look at international best practice in ensuring that we advance with human rights record in the country. That's a sacrosanct, we not deny, because we don't see the writings on the wall. Notwithstanding that.
And that's through the laws.
Yes, through the laws
and policies.
Laws they already make, right?
But I'm not sure you agree in terms of practice.
No, even practice, something new, they just come into them.
Okay.
We're not used to them, right? Just like the prohibition of child marriage.
I would say cultural.
Cultural, so that they say. But it got to take time, and through sustained sensitization, we go each day, right? Because now you don't see I think Kenema, but it also side. People that we don't expect, they talk about this law. Meaning they don't begin to go small. Because they also gathering somebody they pass, it's small picking, they say, hey, this thing they do. Trouble wouldn't be now, law don't pass. And so through that kind of sensitization, we'll not tap to the government, but we serve as civil society, including we all get a role for see how we push them kind in there.
You have to agree, say the problem more in terms of some human rights record and status rests on the points where Millicent mentioned about police accountability. Well, the point you mentioned first about police accountability. Look at this picture, for example, with this young man being dragged, and then we get other incidents of, well, we get a colleague, journalist from a sister entity, AYB, where just last week was reported.
Talk of another journalist, Nakenema.
Exactly. Another journalist was allegedly brutalized. See this situation, for example. More so, domestic violence is also a problem in the country. You get a woman where they bastardize the man, then they brutalize the man. Then you get man the way, in fact, then the number as reported in high than the woman the way they brutalize the man. Then look at this, for example, where woman brutalize the man. Well, some get for predominantly out of jealousy. Look at this one, we almost make the man lost in the eye. The other cases of domestic violence where they happen in the country, unlike the one way more or less we will talk about the cultural aspect, because that is still there under contention. And we tell you, say no, we cannot borrow within the West or with man in the practice. This then see that's one of the armed forces we into. In the area where Millicent mentioned about prohibition of child marriage, where customary among the people and the bulk of the country's population, the interior. Correct?
Yeah. You see, we get one big challenge on our institutional reform, right? This institution is very key, the police. And they recently make the strategic plan, I think, for like a 3-year strategic plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the beautiful documents that I don't see.
For reform from force to service.
Yes, right? That strategic plans, if they follow, you go see great reform in the police sector.
But that's on paper, just like when we talk about the laws.
Yeah,
Paper.
yes. Now, when you look at the police, and one big thing will happen in this country, what you don't find out is that the security forces, especially the police, who they for life and property, or secure and protect them. Instead of them protect citizens, they are protecting regimes. That's now one key thing, what are the flaws. And also, I want to make this clear.
I think several other reports don't capture saying that, in fact, when it comes to election years, the opposition is suffer more. The opposition is suffer more during election years. The opposition is suffer more. And the incidents that happen are more political incidents then.
It's political. In fact, that's what we try to tell you. Even when you look at protests, if the protest not
look at this report from the US government, for example. They say arbitrary deprivation of life and other unlawful and politically motivated killings. Most of the killings are politically motivated.
And that is why we say the police gets the responsibility. If that institution is reformed, the police, the judiciary, parliament, they get a greater role for transforming Sierra Leone.
Okay, so let's turn into context. Does it not go back to the point where Millicent mentioned about individually we own responsibilities for making things better? Because if you go to parliament, I'm going to tell you, if you go to parliament, you go to the police, you go to the judiciary, then people are not coming from up this kind.
No way.
Then people will tell you, say, these are two reflection of the society we Salone. Because they all come out from the homes as Salone, and inside the home, then they come out. Also from up this guy. So if they misbehave, now we own communities themselves, don't raise them people the way they misbehave. So
you know one thing, when you get passion for job, for a particular work you do out all you might.
So no matter how they raise you in a community.
Yes. Most of the time we go in for a job because of the money. Right? And I want to tell you about the police. That regimental force strike we will get. We say the police are an illiterate bunch. Not to any longer we get. We get professional people in the police, ranging from the medical field, lawyers, engineers, and people that who don't get powerful degrees there, from masters to PhD levels, right? And so we get that kind of people there. They can come back with the expertise and ensuring that.
So we're not expecting much from them now.
We are expecting much from them.
Say they're supposed to don't live beyond just being politically remote controlled.
Because it's all boils around this political stuff. Not they push this political lens. Look, begin this what others from above. No. Do your job diligently. When you do your job the right way, people respect you. but they see things that they go the wrong way.
Well, listen, the Human Rights Commission, over the years, in fact, in numerous State of Human Rights reports, don't recommend, in fact, year in, year out, don't recommend for police transformation. Police transformation. In fact, other reports them as well, what I don't read, don't recommend same police transformation. But from any time when the police attempts for reform, for example, we moved from Kitbido, that was the police force, and then we came to a force for good. And now we try to move from force for good to service. Police force to force for good. Anything change is a question. So maybe in terms of nomenclature, that is the only change. But practical operational orders not change, because we continue to see brutality, as already Jack Kaidon mentioned in this case. Every year, Human Rights Commission recommends police reform, Yet we continue to see the same thing. And the police are the arbiter of enforcement of the laws of the country. So if things not change around them, then what's I for turn to, waiting for be the hope in terms of keeping our human rights fears away?
Well, me will say, like we from our side, we continue to engage the police because we work closely with the police. A bit kind of challenging, but we keep, because for example, we then come with the sexual gender-based violence cases them to we get for involve the police. We get to refer a partnership board where we refer some cases that we directly know related to what we they do as a commission. So if I can explain that one day, we commission they look at human rights violations. Now so we act say human rights violations means say you where governments they pay money, we supposed for do you work, like the police what they talk about, so they know they do their work as they're supposed for do them. We investigate that one day. We they give recommendation, they say we as a commission think say now this for be done because this person where government they pay money don't violate human rights of Patrick Salia, for example, and through investigation now this we fair not. Cases the way they can't so we regular for do with abuse, where like man beating woman, then rape or sexual penetration, plenty other human rights issues, then person goes trespass other person, where then case then they can't we. As a commission, because of we position, we can also, we get contact now, all of them key institutions them. The police were involved, we will bring them come on board. But specifically, we get cases the way like, we they refer to specific institutions them. So if na employment issue, we they refer to Ministry of Labor. If na then sexual gender-based violence, the police go inside, maybe medical go inside, self they work with like Rainbow Initiative, plenty other partners than they will they work with. But specifically, if they ask about the relationship with the police then, the relationship with the police then where we they keep now that, they also help us in a way with our work. Because there are times where we they go get information in some things them, we they need the police for give with and support in those areas. And then we get access to, police cells, facilities them, where we they go do we investigation, where we monitoring, when they stop we they go there, we monitoring, we write we independent report. And like you say, we don't keep for the get recommendations them, where we they send to the police, say, this now what we want for Leuna do, this now what we they recommend. Because we don't work what they do, where we don't do we monitoring, we don't do we reports them. It's not always we come to public and start for talk about them things, then would they engage the institutions then?
But the Human Rights Commission get quasi
judicial function.
In the American English, quasi-judicial powers for
yes.
both public inquiries,
yes,
and even punish certain individuals or institutions. I remember, I think it was in 2011 or 10 thereabout. It was retired Major Alfred Paulo Conte, when I was Minister of Defense. There were those retired ex-soldiers, where they been called mentally deranged people, and then term them as chronically ill and mentally imbalanced.
Yeah.
The Human Rights Commission held a public inquiry, thorough one, a YWCA, and then the outcome was very solid. And the Human Rights Commission also done a whole numerous other public inquiries, but along the way, that ended. And that be the set some very good precedents, and be they make the level of violations begin drop. But the moment those public inquiries stopped, the number of violations, as in this case now, continue for skyrocket again.
So I want first
not thinking that because of those actions we don't take before, we're not seeing for the happen again. I make those institutions CCR. Let us continue the same.
No, recently we get a public inquiry, and we even launched the report, you know, with public inquiry into the conduct of law enforcement officials. It was, I mean, we start the process, we will engage the institutions, and we look at, excuse me, we look at 5 key institutions. We look at the Sierra Leone police, we look at the military, we look at the correctional services, we look at the road safety corps, they're all. We look at them. We get pre-engagements with them. Say we want to do an inquiry. We don't get plenty complaints them from people the way they come, from police brutality, like how they talk about Nyaso, and also things that we self done they see in our social media. Do we investigations? Do we monitoring them? We get the engagement with them. We do public awareness. We go to media houses them across the country for talk about the public inquiry. We done. We come, we set the panel, we go na the regions them. And it was even live on Facebook where we run the public inquiry. People then come. Some institutions like the military then come with their lawyers them. Then come, people then come with the witnesses them, the one that we make them complaints then come, and then we get the public hearing. After the public hearing, we report. But I will state that during the public hearing, we will get the cooperation of the military more than the police. In all the side they will be get to panel sittings them. Maybe then at the southeast.
Or was it so?
Well, we don't know why the cooperation not being so much, I mean, compared to the military. But the military were there in full force and then go with the lawyers them.
Because the police more or less that they interact with the civil population on a daily, if I don't
exactly.
basis.
Exactly. So, but we've been getting cooperation more of the military. And then we come back, the panel reviewed and do the report. We launched that report the last year. We launched the report and there are recommendations in that report there. The recommendations, they are all ready for launch the report. We go back to them all and tell them, say, we don't do inquiries, we don't get reports. These are the things that we will fail not. These are the recommendations that we will get, and these are the fines them way we think say, you know, the different institutions they need for pay for compensate some of them people there, so will be injured or we get, you know, other kind of things that we will think so we need for compensate them. And to some point, some of the side that will go, the commission get for come in personally for give like immediate stopgap measures them for make sure so we will settle the situation. Then they will be there on ground before we can compile we report. We will do all of these things. But I will tell you, we don't write to them institutions then they. We don't send to them the report, and we not get anyone yet we don't adhere to their recommendations then they, and even the fines that we will put. We don't hear it from 1 or 2. We tell we say. Then say for meet their obligations then they, then get for rely on government budget because now government they give them money. So let's say if I go compensate somebody, 5 people then we through an action, when damage them, they say okay then go compensate them this amount of money. The institutions self they say then rely on government for give them the money.
Punitive measures on the individuals we commit the offense rather than just putting the problem on the institution. So
we deal with the institutions and not the individuals. So the institutions should hold responsible the staff or the persons responsible for that. So we are dealing with the institution, you know. So it no matter Patrick Saliak in the Silk FM, then things they are happening under another regime, but now you don't come now. When you come as head, we deal with the institution because the institution they continue, not to individuals. If they deal with individuals, then nobody know for answer to we.
The individual might die.
Exactly. So that's why we're dealing with the institutions. So I mean, like they say, we still they in contact with them for see how they handle that part of things. But we also see, because these are our partners, these are people that we work with as well. So we want to see how we manage all of this situation, but not to the disadvantage of the citizens that we are, brutalized and all of that one day. But these are the concerns we are having from the institutions themselves. So like they say, we get all of the institutions there who they work with, and the responsibility for maintain good human rights in a country. It rests with everybody. You self within that office, wait for do what you for the way they do right. You need to help the human rights na the country for go well. So now we can sit down a corner there and say, oh, Salon not get human rights. But what you they do now, you only to corner where they cut that pipe, they cut a cable. we don't they see plenty things the way Sierra Leoneans they don't they do. All that one day they make sure so you know enjoy your human right. So for example, if this water where they run now, so the tap, the cable pass front, the pipe pass front to your hose, you cut an so for let you get water, then water reach to the other person. You don't deprive of a human right. But always we can look at the bigger picture of human rights. What in the state supposed for do? Yes, we get right for hold the state responsible. Now make we as an institution day between the citizens or the people them and the government, where we they reach out to government and say no, we will not do this right. Picking them they go school, they need these facilities, hospitals they need this need this. I mean, what in the government they do, what one I don't do, what one I don't put in place.
Amnesty, Jack, we not be to argue at some points now because then thing has to happen now because systems are the country not the work. Otherwise, if the systems will the work, like when Millicent referenced the issue of pipe being cut, and that's common among people in Africa and others outside the world. That's not what they happen. The systems actually they work, and then the society inside systems work.
Make me question the law for the country. It's all it boils around patriotism, right? Just imagine you the donkey under Adinaya, you just struggle to take your water pipe, you don't carry cross them, hold on for make it get access to water. They meet Dinaya and not do anything for quarter. Naya get to deprive you, right? You look, you know the things are so many. It's about us until we change the narrative, mindset before things that begin work. You count the most powerful person putting on top of this country herself. If we're not ready for change, things are not going to go before.
But leadership can change the situation.
Yes, leadership will change the situation.
Leadership can change the people. It can change the mindset of the bulk of the people.
Yes, we don't say a whole lot of things that don't come now. Attitudinal change, behavioral change. Then things that all be geared towards how we for transform ourselves, how we narrative will change, how thinking will change for put salon first before ever other thing. But that's not what is working. You see, you don't have traffic, they don't put traffic lights there. Youth now, they wait for the traffic lights or make give the green light for me move. Then they come over and I can't cross. What will they try for sure? We self get the responsibility in as much as when we look at the state obligation and responsibility, we self get the equal force for make us look at your responsibility, complement government. But this is not what is happening. So make us equally check yourself. Yeah? And so there is a lot of challenges on both sides. And that is why we get institutions that are responsible for civic education. Civic education therefore play a greater role. If they begin then small picking them now, what they grab. If they begin put their kind of thing there from what they small, introduce civic education to them, now schools as they grow. My brother, if you not go see one he puts damage paper now, right? Interestingly, my brother became here in come out and come. Right? Then with the worker, one of the family member eats and dump the paper. The teacher say, no, auntie, this is wrong. Pick it up. They don't imbibe that in now. But you know the other thing they do. And so they see things so messy around. All over.
And they blame more or less the state institutions or they blame the individuals? Because if, for example, me they pass, I see sell outside for puts dirty. I will left for put and there I will put and I go even at it.
Yes, it happen, but we don't see they don't put trash cans and all over. Instead of that person at that time come dump in waste, you know they do, they just fling that. Most of the time they don't put their strategic trash can. Then go watch they messing, they smell. Instead of the dump and the inside, the outside of the put right? And so what do they try for Sinaya? In as much as the state gets irresponsibility, we get powerful laws there, we get powerful policies there, then they don't make mistake about them. But it's about proper implementation, it's about monitoring, all the things that they will lack.
And then they get the systems.
Yeah, that really get the system. Now the thing that will be able to put the systems in proper place, but the monitoring very lack. And we don't really do this monitoring. Now, assuming at the work in fire force, the law say nobody no cook openly because breeze go carry blow fire move, go and do destruction. As an officer, the work in that institution, I can't meet you the cook na. Instead of I do the right thing, The next thing now they do, threaten you for put money in your hand. You not try to put things in place for say not ever cook na. This is wrong thing they do. Now money, extortion, exploit people. Now this they happen all over in the system. You go to workplaces then, where they forgive service to people, now all that thing. Now here you see, I forgo work 8 o'clock or 9, people that go work 12 o'clock to 1. We go to 12 o'clock by 2, you don't come on day. What are you telling us? So we get a whole lot of things, go back on the table and change the narrative for we say. Now, we know they do anything there again for we say. But now begin to for posterity. We picking them and they won't picking them. They will still can't continue with this kind of mess. No. It will stop some side. And the change begin with we now.
Melissa Antuna, they keep record of the number of reports. If I told people they report to, the number of cases and class of cases people they report to, I get record, comprehensive report of numbers. I mean.
Yes, we they keep records of them. Not only for Western area, we get regional offices as well, where we they get records of all the cases that we they counter with.
Officially, they can meet to reports.
Yes,
and violations.
a lot of them. So, say for example, we office Nabo, you they get people that they come as far as Pujong, Moyamba, they Kanabo, travel Kanabo, for can make complaints them to we. And then we'll get them complaints and they some even don't reach police.
So when they report the same case to the people in back where they violate?
Yes.
Some of them cases then are the very perpetrators and then same one that they report to back.
Okay, so we'll get some of them cases then the perpetrator, the one we can make the complaints, so they bring the all can together. Because mostly we can try for settle some of them cases then in an amicable way. But if the people they want for go further, then they can take them further. But this small case, and mostly waiting the case thinking there about if I can rob multiple than they, you get them like man and woman, fate, you get deprivation of property, you get domestic violence, all of them cases, especially in the regions, most of them cases then they can meet with.
Prominent among the list.
Yes, now them prominent among we list. This now the one that we they can meet with them. When we self they go now like them detention facilities them. We go na police for example. We go find out say this person they don't detain them past the time where they supposed to detain them. They not even take statements from my it that they don't lock them for 3 days. Would they ask that them pull the person then taking statement, or if they not get reason for lock them, we don't get plenty of then success stories then where they dismiss them people in there.
But then fire brigade measure there. So in cases where people supposed to know waiting for do.
I don't know how long we go dey Panam, but we will continue for the public education. And public education not only for rest with we. So even our communities them, we always have be small, we understand how some of them laws they are for work. Or even we where they work. So let's say you get a family in a police person, yeah? And they work in a police station, and not say enough suppose for detain person, lock person, you not take statements from her. You lock them for 3 days. Or like how would they talk no more way? People then go come, somebody can meet you and say, this person, I just want to let you lock them for me for 3 days. Just press her no more, let's sleep the weekend. You know say they do the wrong thing, why you want for do them? Like with the talk, it also get for come up from that place where we feel like we have a responsibility for do the right things them. We're not going to cry about we human rights if we force them to do the right thing them. You team up na that domot, you know what you for do na that domot, how for protect or what you for do the you need to do them, and then you get for blame other people them because things are not going right. So for example, a lot of people them they suffer, we're not supposed to suffer. Especially when it comes to, the law and, police and all of them things and they form. Some of the monitoring, the what they do, the investigations, the what they do. And like I say, when we go and then sell there, we'll find out say sometimes they don't lock person for 3 days and not even take statement from her. Una pull this person and una taking statement. If una don't take in statement, una see easy now for lock and una can go lock them. But una the crowd they sells them for things that way even people might not need to be behind bars for.
I remember 2023 thereabout, we witnessed one special prison courts where Justice Alhaji Mamoja Stevens behold Pademba Road Maximum Prison. Among several other cases, this young man don't dey behind bars, na pre-trial detainee for 3 years. For 3 years. You know the case? for ordinary one bag pepper. For 3 years, they don't need behind bars. In fact, for calling case in a court, they've been in trouble, according to the records. We don't go through the records. So this is how faulty the system is. So, which is why I say, why they ask, is it about the people or about the system?
So it's both ways. I mean, the system, who order for make sure say the system work? It's the people. Now the people, they make the system work. Not for foreigners, then all of them spaces there. These are Sierra Leoneans. And probably you don't suffer from similar something, or that inaction where you take care under so might affect even your own relative, but you're not doing the right thing. So it's both ways. We they blame government. Yes, government get things the way they're supposed to do. And if they don't do them, we need to call them out. But we the citizens them, where then our government offices them, where then a different side that we get waiting for do for make sure so we do the right thing. Are we doing them? And if we don't do them, how can we talk about human rights? How we go say we enjoy with human rights? How we even cry say, I mean, we're not enjoying our human rights. We will not say we need to do the right things. We'll get a lot of work to do.
I can stretch your hand quick, but I'll stretch your hand quick to Millicent. No, you go hit in face. So that's the example, more or less. If you see Jack in here, we stretch your hand. See how close them they. We stretch your hand. If you're not careful, you go hit Millicent in face. So that's the issue about rights and limitations. So when you do exercise your rights, remember, say you get say your right for stop and the other person at the start. That's what we are discussing here. But the states at which we write them then as alone in terms of records, and we discuss with Jack Ekai, in charge of programs now, Amnesty International, and Millicent Kagbo, when I'm the Deputy Director of Communications, the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone. In terms of addressing this problem, USA will go for start in the first place. Because the law they already did. The system they already did, but the systems are reportedly being manipulated. So USA will start with the people or with the system.
You start with the system, reforming the system. We get institutions there.
Not forgetting also tradition, where they play a big role in this. In some cases, in fact, like where Millicent mentioned, in terms of the prohibition of child marriage, you said allude to the same point. It's more cultural than even waiting the law supposed to even stop.
Now, it's traditional, but the laws they cover every other body. Hence, you know, as Sierra Leone, they make law for everybody. If these laws are made and go through parliament, they get presidential assent, they cover everybody. So the law supreme for everyone. Yeah? Why are the stress on institutions? We get the institutions there. But the institutions are not working. The institutions that need to be reformed. Put things in place, we will make the institution become functional, accountable, and equally transparent. That's number one. And second, you know, what thing they happen again, most of the people that already put in them various positions, they don't vet them. If vetting process they for look at integrity check. As I be somebody who turn mayor, and they call the turn of the city. But that gentleman pity in the liquor. So if you even get problem with young parliamentarians at a point in time, say for Kowitz, the progress in the area for past Brian, you say I'm not going to do it. A whole lot of challenges that become. That same person, I don't dare in a junction, but the pass go up line. That Chinese hospital fence. You know, see that we only cut there, yes. Or go build. Yeah. That gentleman, I ain't parking my car. Bulldozer they do operate. He said, I go up line. If I can't make this machine, I'll just see them burn. That will stop. I make that Chinese fence, and they will be Latina. We need them kind of people there. Who believe say the law supreme.
So this, you go back to the argument earlier, or the question I asked earlier about leadership. Leadership changes everything.
Yes.
A typical example, we get neighbor to Guinea, and we get Burkina Faso, not to democracy. You get other countries as well where you just take one strong leader for change everything, for turn the table around.
It takes one strong leader.
Like you don't mention to this person in question.
Yes, but then suppress and frustrate her. So what's in a beyond dream for doing not reach that peak, right?
So that's why people they continue for suffer violations and abuses because you get certain people where they think they hand them mightier over the system.
And so that kind of system then now holistic approach. If waves that don't begin to take place in other countries like in Burkina Faso, if we not take that wave we cross over Africa, we need that kind of radical transformation now for Africa. And Sierra Leone not to exception. Right? Then they don't know how they talk. More they look at we young grand picking them. Then they not go through this kind of ordeals they would only go through. Right? The situation not good for we. And so if reform don't take place in an institution, we get the kind of leadership then, or leaders, who go change the mindset, and it come back to we self. We put this country first. Love the country. Because we don't love this country, now make Bokutin will happen. You can't put me in here or make her work. The best I do now for see how I reach myself at the detriment of every other person.
Okay.
These are the things they all begin to look at. And transformation on the staff day. Right? Make we begin see again bringing a civic education. Begin change the mindset of the small and who they be enemy. If they want that you're thinking different, their own way of focus different, their own thinking get different direction, will all look at development. But so we me and you, today I go there say I not get job. Then put me for that job. The next thing I for go see how I go enrich myself.
For thief.
Yes, this is what is happening.
Clear
attention so far the bulk of the people, assuming you come money denier, then say this money now for Sierra Leone. Then you come, you take them all by yourself. Well, we get problem with health, we get problem with road, we get problem with education, and all the social aspects. Then you take that money order for use for improve the health facility. You want to take them. That you don't destroy a whole lot of the population. So for begin look at them things.
All right, Millicent, from our lens at the Human Rights Commission, how are we going to overcome this? Or learn challenge there as well? In terms of we human rights record, we nationally no look good, but internationally we kind of, well, maybe because of the laws, we progressive laws, we don't say we don't pass, we kind of be in a very good position. How we fight for address ourselves or sort out the problems internally?
So firstly, me will say the government supposed for do what it's supposed for do. Where we will talk about the state of human rights, the government supposed for protect, supposed for promote, to get for respect, and for fulfill human rights. What means say waiting the laws the way they don't pass, therefore make sure say then laws then they then work.
And we tell you the limitation of resources, money particularly, and we tell you money not there for do this, money not there for do that.
Well, I mean, there should be a way.
You mentioned, for example, certain institutions who do recommendations and so say involve money.
Government no give money it.
Yes.
Yes. So, but we now will continue for take the excuses then the actions must be taken. So we they look forward to the government for take some actions with regards to things then they. And then you come to the citizen. It's two-way, like me down they say. If you go to the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991, Section 13A to J, they talk about the responsibilities of a citizen. Well, not just they talk and I on top of our head. It then at the Constitution. For say citizens then get responsibility for even support the police for do their work. Because we don't see turn the way police they go for go do their work, citizens then they obstruct them in their lawful duty whether they do their work. We don't see say, inside that section 13A to J, they talk about your responsibilities as a citizen. What do you for do and what do you not for do? Let we they take the they allow they read them. And I don't know, generally maybe I might be wrong, but Sierra Leoneans they will not want for read, will not want for all of them beautiful laws they are with this way. Now waiting other people that they can explain give we. Even people who are elite, don't have time to take those laws, read them, understand them, maybe begin explain first to the young families then before we go out. Now, make sometimes we know there are challenges in so many areas, but because there is not that knowledge also about the things then where they will for benefit from, they make we sit down and we can't access them, we can't benefit from them. So where do we start? Let we try for increase with knowledge first. Institutions then they like we, Human Rights Commission, part of the work they do, not for only go monitor, not for only investigate, but they also do awareness raising. Like how they na radio, na television, na so today to owner. This is part of our awareness raising. Where they go na schools there, where they go na communities them. All the time when they do awareness raising on waiting at people their rights, waiting at their responsibilities them. But it's as if we're not doing that much because we need to see the impact of that one. But we'll continue to do our own work. And not so we know more they do other people that they do but please, let we not only focus on we rights. Yes, we the whole government accountable for things that we then supposed to do, and citizens themselves supposed for whole government accountable. But you as citizen, waiting at your roles and responsibility. If you watch this program now, go find the Constitution. I shall say not to all man self don't read the Constitution or know what's in the inside the Constitution all. But there are key things them. Sometimes we can holler, for example, oh, freedom of expression, freedom of expression. You don't read the section, that section 25, now the Constitution where they talk about freedom of expression. You don't watch what it say. Usa you freedom stop and usa you freedom of expression not reach. Exactly. Also, if freedom of expression starts and also stop, you don't read another Constitution. It's not enough to just on top of our head for the claim we write them. Yes, we get rights for claim the rights they are so because we are citizens, we are human beings. I mean, for the fact that no more you not a man, you get human rights. Yeah, like how the law tell we. But how you they enjoy that rights day? Now we make sure say you do what you yourself supposed to do, and government self do what government supposed to do.
Thank you very much, Millicent Kagbo, when Deputy Director of Communications, Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone, and Jack Kaikawena Campaigns and Growth Officer at Amnesty International Salon. We don't take time for take you through the state of human rights and Salon. That's not just a summary, the surface part of the picture. The in-depth part of the picture is being felt by the people who already go through those pains, hurdles, and struggles, whether it's violation or abuse. Or both. Thank you very much, Millicent. Thank you very much, Jack Kaikai.
Thank you.
So we'll continue with the second half of the program. We'll listen to Sierra Leoneans later on this subject matter, written in field about the status of human rights in the country. But let me take first sport with Mohamed Kolia. We're going to bring you up to speed with what's happened at the national and international sporting arena. Let's start with how Freetown City FC don't continue their bad run with their loss yesterday at the Leon Rock Premier League against Wilberforce Strikers.
Inside the Leon Rock Premier League results, Wilberforce Strikers were the 5th na the league table, beat relegation threatening Freetown City Football Club were the 18th na the league table, 1-0. Mount Ores Slifa were the 9, get a 0-0 draw with 11th place newcomers Abacha City Football Club. Inside a pre-match press conference ahead of today's highly anticipated game between Sarah Queens and Mali, the head coach expressed in confidence inside in team and the readiness. They continue for say that they in high spirits na the camp. Asa Malik Mansare say they know what's in their stake as they ready for give everything for the country. The CEO of Vikings Cricket Club, Samuel Pierce, say the club where they formed last year September aim for compete inside all the categories of cricket competition.
When I begin work with cricket, I see say from based on my past experience as a sport journalist and also the people where I sabi, I see and say go nice for la get a cricket club and try for motivate, elevate the cricket players that we get. We get so many teams them. We themselves the part of the cricket family. We get from Premier League clubs, we get both male and female, we get also Division 1, where we been there, but we don't graduate right now go to the elite stage wey na the senior female Premier League. So as you say, it go nice for we get a cricket club, and then we begin do wetin other club dem no dey do. As you already know, say one of the things we do na we Vikings for this Division 1 we dey pay the highest. That na one. Then two, now we are the club we get the highest jersey. We get 4 different set jerseys them for players them, because one for they always look unique. Because the game we dey try for spread the game, and we try for spread the game, we get for invest more. So we also they prepare. We also make food for them, give them drinks, give them match bonus. For let me motivate them more, let them able get courage for play. And then the other thing again, we encourage me more for like coming side. Although it's rather unfortunate, we're not able to get the sponsorship there, so we want. Cricket as a family, them get challenge with ovals them. When you say ovals, that's like when you say pitch or field. But the cricket term na ovals. So now don't begin develop other places them for we get more cricket ovals. But my dream na for Vikings able to get in oval or in stadium for himself. Just right now way they see football and get some clubs and get their own field and everything. If we say we na an academy, we get forget all the structures already in place. And we believe say gradually we reach that peak there. So now all the things that I see, the constraints and challenges then we some of the clubs they go through, I decided okay, well, let myself come on board. Let are able for do them thing they are so I know say are able for do for let we able for push the game of cricket, let it reach a higher height. Because we really like a Viking, so we want to spread the game all over the country, and not all over the country no more. We want for let cricket they play like all corner. Like just like they play football now, any like a small size they manage for play football now. So cricket itself, you dey for play cricket inside your pala, bear you back door, now you compound, now streets, even a marketplace. Once you look say the place, not bad where person go damage himself or waiting, because the game we also focus on the health aspect, not only for play the game, but the game for go with the health. Because if the environment not healthy, you the player not healthy, you know they able for play the game. So all that and then now we keep focus. Now that's make we try very hard for we encourage more people to come on board, sponsor Vikings for we able for reach with dream. Also we expect for they like Vikings Cricket Club and Academy. Now a club we Fenham last year when inside September. And we play first 2 matches them. We na be friendly match. For now we see how the picking and day and Usai lapses and day for now we able for structure them for go inside the Division 1. And we lost all 2, but I can't see not so that we've been focused at. We will see the lapses them and we try for build on them. Then we go inside the Division 1. We play with first 2 matches. The one been draw due to other things then, because cricket game where you play as once the ball don't drop, we don't begin play. If something happen we not go for solve at that moment, we they share the point. So we share the points. We second game we been get for Lossam, and then we balance 3 games. We can play 5 games. We balance 3 games. We win all. Where that make we can turn at the table and we qualify for go to the Premier League stage. We are the elite stage. And you also ask, yes, Vikings Cricket Club and Academy. When we say academy, if we not say we get different categories. Like if you go to the early stage now, we get both senior male and female. We get under 17, we get under 19, we get under 15, we get under 13. We are both male and female. We get all our and they we will train very hard right now, because other competition they come up soon. We want to make the players them keep fit, the cricketers keep fit for they're able for participate in the tournament and day. So for now we short term goal. Now for we see say firstly, we make the players happy, both physically, financially, mentally, and any other way. See that say they're okay, and we provide them the necessary equipment then for them to play and get good jersey. Because when you wear good jersey, you get your equipment, the all things set and everything. You dey get more courage for letting you play the game. So that we medium term, we short term goal, we medium term goal. Now for we see we able for lift more trophies them. Now all the different categories them we get now salary how they play, and also we take the club also for go on international tours them. What we can do of now Africa because better a couple no day every time of more sponsors will come on board. For let we pick the expose. So when I pick them na the senior side, they go able for deliver well. They not go forget that competition fighting for them because they see other different phases. So one thing for expose them already. With long-term goal, now for now we get a clubhouse, we get a cricket oval or say cricket stadium, standard stadium, where we go to play the all we matches them and same way so where Salon they host any other game. We came for soccer well, now can use it back with stadium we get. And for there we supporters and fans and well wishers them where they go look the game. Let them for sit down comfortable one, they for look the game, find one and enjoy them. So that's our long-term goal we want to achieve or we try for achieve. So we encourage all Sierra Leoneans for the support Vikings. You can come as supporter, we get a fan base. And same way you have to come back as executive member, you can still come, we get with criteria there because we get the constitution and we are registered with Cricket Sierra Leone Limited. So you will come, we'll show you constitution, we'll show you what are the criteria then. Where you go to all and then you came for be an executive member. And same way so they encourage everybody for when I look we game them, where will they play? Now the Kingdom Oval when then a police field, we get FBC, when a Havelock ground, we also get success. We get for the play with competition them. So they encourage everybody for let them go look. Even if you not sabi the game better, so just come, you come sit down. You ask person, then go they explain to you. The beauty about cricket game, when the game they play, you not sabi, people in there around the way, they show you ball by ball, how they go like, how everything they happen and everything. So we encourage everybody for let then come on board. We get with Facebook page, we na Vikings Cricket Club and Academy, where you go follow them.
Chelsea don become the first club for win all 5 major UEFA competition title as 2 brilliant assists in space of 5 second half minutes from Cole Palmer inspired Chelsea to a 4-1 comeback victory over Real Betis inside the UEFA Conference League final. Now all this we get for you inside this edition of the Today Show Sports Update on Slick TV channel 37 with me, Mohamed Collier.
So Chelsea, they win UEFA competition and they also qualify for Champions League. We, well money, share money, Manchester United. They are allowed to get Polat. I remain peaceful. Thank you very much, Mohamed Collier, for the sports update there. Now going to the entertainment with Slim Peasy now for bringing you the razzmatazing part of how the world of entertainment, they unravel from national to international.
Yo, what's up, boy? What's up, everyone? I go by the name Slim Peasy. You already know this, na the corner right here on Slick TV channel 37. You don't know. Boom! You know how we can do a week in, week out, bring you the stories every time, make you get updates on how things that they unfold inside the entertainment industry. Well, with that being said, let's get right into it. So today I'll start with the entertainment ambassador, Kao De Niro. He made a post regarding the current Miss Sierra Leone winner, Lachive, aka Davis, who currently represents the motherland right now, the Miss World stage, the competition. You know what I mean? It don't come so far, it don't pass through different stages them. And it don't have points right now, Usai in need support from Sierra Leoneans home and abroad. If you're not salon person, you want for support the sister, there's a flyer out right now. We get how you will go about how for support them. Alright? So but I'll read the post we Cardinal make and then take you step by step to how you for support this beautiful Miss Sierra Leone Lacheve aka Davis Pandis program. Alright, so according to Cardinal post, it say we have to be intentional in branding our country outside. It's worth me sharing our sister contending for the Miss World title. Guys, let's bring awareness to this. A great milestone if achieved. Follow the steps on the flyer to support her, please. Thanks. That is awaiting Cardinal will take to a Facebook page. Now let's get to the flyer and know how we go for support with sister on the Miss World competition right now. So the first step, they say make you download the Miss World app from Google Play Store and Apple Store, right? And also the second step, they say make you open the app, make you sign in with your username and password. And the third step, search for your country, scroll to Miss World, and then tap to join. When you join, then say the next step again, you get for join the salon community by posting Lachiva's photos, videos, like, comment, share on any of her posts. So these are the steps then how you were able for support them. The last one make it clear for you again. They say when you don't join the salon community, by posting Lacheve's photo and videos, you need for like, you comment and you share any of him photos them will be non-post. So this go get more popularity. This go able for show for saying as somebody way people and within a salon back home they actually support. It give her more engagements, more audience. That helps her for able to forget what anyone forget. So it's very easy to do. If you're not somebody where they use smartphone, do it now, like what the talk so. Just go to our Play Store, search for the Miss World app, download them, and do the following as I've been explained. Okay, if you use Apple device as well, it's just simple for you. So let me go and support with sister. Let me make sure say you bring this one home. All right, let's move away from that. Let's talk about another thing on the plate. I want to talk about Tranga Ace Baba. Mina Tranga Ace Baba. Where is Tranga Ace Baba there? Hey, Tranga Ace. You remember what I had to talk about? It's been a minute since I know every song from Nasser Ayub. Nasser Ayub Buena Tranga Ace Baba. You know what I mean? It's been a minute. You saw that song again. They get one song here in Lactoria Ridge. I don't know for Salon Antenna. Is it Nasser Ayub on that song? But anyways, Nasser Ayub, after a minute, wait on the outside the industry, we see him now most likely they na social media, Facebook, saying things, you know what I mean? They didn't think, man, if you say you don't on blogger. But he's still a musician, he's still making music. Recently, within some days back, I think 2 or 3 days back, I see him drop a song. And then I'm like, nah, this song is so dope. I mean, your personal preference. And I can make you listen to the song and then call, drop a comment and let me know which you actually think about this Nasser Ayub song. But hold up, on this song, Nasser Ayub feature the one and only Niggadon from LXG Music Group. So it tells you it's going to be magic. All right, so let's take a listen on the song where Nasser Ayub featuring Niggadon and then call this one Story. Yes, Story is the title. Don't go anywhere, stay glued. We'll be back right after you enjoy the song.
Story, story, story. Story, story, story. Oh yeah, story, story. Hey, story, story. People go tell you, say I got your back. But at the end they go turn their back on you. No go dig for more boy. Bobo, Jara, Jara. Nobody go die for you. But you tell me, say you got my back, oh. Where were you when I needed you? You did not come through for me. You did not show up for me. Tell me, where were you when I needed you? You did not come through for me. You did not show up for me. So don't come give me story. Story, story, story. Don't come give me story. Story, story, story. I don't want to hear your story. Story, story, story. Don't come give me story. Story, story, story.
All right, that's a story from Nasa Ayub featuring Negadon. How you hear this sound? For me, I think it sound like a brand new Nasa Ayub. I don't know if you saw it on the sound all these years, or maybe Miesa be need cutting, but without said and done, I think it's a beautiful song. What's that you take if you know off a call right now? Just drop a comment underneath the Facebook post and let me know what is your take on this very song titled Story. All right, let's move on from that. Let's talk about Twice Ice Multimedia Entertainment, TIME, as they present the Ashawo Boys Festival musical concert. And of course, according to Twice Ice, it gets artist them way it don't sign underneath or under a label. You know what I mean? Because if I say underneath, I mean to say that they under some kind of thing. But inside life, Twice Ice get in artist them way is signed, and they've been pushing. That's what I mean, and they try, then they push themselves. You know, so then decide say, okay, if we don't record, we don't do videos, we don't push ourselves, we don't promote we song, let us stage an event like where people will come, see we they perform in living colors, like see we on stage doing our thing, performing the songs where they're on the vibe to, you know what I mean, here and there, and see we they perform the song and they enjoy them with we. So that is why TIME, Twice Ice Multimedia Entertainment decide for bring the Ashawo Boys Festival musical concert on May 30th. According to Rami say the time now 9 p.m. And of course, ticket to get 18 leons for regular. At the gates 100 leons, he say VIP 250, and of course 500 for VVIP. In attendance, you'll see guests them like Dope Boy Stacks, you know what I mean? SO GOV, of course, Young and Star Kid. You get Joe Exclusive, Stacks, and Boku big brand artists and get for come through. Hill Station Club now that these get for take place. So what you do wait? Come through, cause I get for Dede. I want to make you come through and come support Twice Ice Multimedia Entertainments, the TIME. That is all on the plate today. From me, myself, and Ibrahim Kagbo, Slim to the PZ with them vibes. Still will link up for another episode of the ENT Corner. I'm signing out. Blessings, Dono.
Story. I like the story. Thank you, Slim PZ, for the ENT updates. Now, there we go into travel, because people, they travel out of the country for whatever reason, business, otherwise, and you need the travel updates for help your journey for be smooth, for early preparation especially. So we wish you safe travel in advance. Let's start with Askai Airlines, flights KP023. We go left Banjul, the Gambia, and stop na Freetown at 8:05 a.m. Accra, and finally reach Lome, Togo at 8:45 a.m. At 1 p.m., then 1 in the afternoon, Askai Airlines flight KP042 will take off from Lome, Togo, stop na Freetown at 3:55 in the afternoon, and it reach Banjul, the Gambia at 4:35 in the afternoon. Also at 1 in the afternoon, Askai Airlines flight KP040 go left Accra, Ghana, and head to Freetown. That's not the flight we go left at 1 p.m. At 1:30 the same afternoon, Brussels Airlines flight SN241 go take off from Freetown, make stop na Monrovia, Liberia, and land na Brussels at 7:55 in the evening. At 2:30 in the afternoon, Kenya Airways flight KQ510/11 go left Nairobi, Kenya, and stop na Accra at 5:30 p.m. and reach Freetown at 6:30 p.m. That's about an hour flight. This flight has to go back na Accra, Ghana, and return to Nairobi, Kenya. At 4 p.m., Air Senegal flight HC213/4 go left Dakar, Senegal and reach Banjul, the Gambia at 6:55 in the afternoon, 6:55 in the evening, and continue to Freetown at 7:50 in the evening. So finally at 8 o'clock na net, Air Peace flight P47760/1 go left Freetown for go Lagos, Nigeria, and it go reach 11 o'clock na net, with final arrival at 11:40. That's about 40 minutes flight. That's my travel update for Friday. This now for help your journey for be smooth and let you get some early preparations. Shortly later inside the show, APC officially don't react to the government's plan for do new districts. We'll go listen to them in a short while. And also from Statistics Sierra Leone, engaging the public and certain stakeholders on what ahead of the 2026 census as plans gear up. These and other reactions we will get with James Kamaramane in the headlines review shortly. Let us go for the health tips. Get some medical advice.
Party them and welcome to Today Health Tips. The rain don't come, breeze don't cold, but we all sabising at the same time this plenty sickness than Kinwaka. Now we talk small but how we for keep ourselves safe and healthy during this rainy season. Tip 1. Try for build your immune system. This not time where cold and flu can come quick. So, eat boku orange, lemon, and guava, and all the other fruits them will get vitamin C. You go still benefit if you drink warm ginger or turmeric tea. It go help for protect your body. Tip 2. Try for the keep your body dry and warm. No dey left your umbrella or raincoat now also. If rain soak you, try for change your clothes quick one. So clothes can cause sickness them like rashes and ringworm. So, always they keep yourself warm, especially in the morning and night. Tip 3. Mind waiting you they eat. Rainy season not to time follow you they eat all kinds in the streets. Then can get dirty or bad water. Try for the eat well cooked food na house. Wash your fruits and vegetables fine one and drink clean water like water from filter or boil one. Tip 4. Protect yourself from them mosquito them. Rainy season at time we can bring boku mosquito them because of dirty water. Make sure say you no get standing water na your yard. Use mosquito nets, spray or cream. This go help you know for catch malaria or other mosquito sickness them. Tip 5. Do small exercise na your house. If you see for say outside rain they come or place soak, no make let that stop you. You still go able for do small stretches them or dance or yoga inside your house. This go help you for feel better and keep your body active. Me paddy, love it guy for take care of yourself this rainy season. Oh. Stay warm, stay dry and stay wise. Health na wealth.
So the message in that health tip from Paulina Bendu Samba that you know for Yagba pass make is no Yagba pass your life. Only Yagba already Yagba not life. Now where you are alive, not able for do anything. So take time and do some of the things way for help for improve your well-being. Okay, now we're going to some of the stories where done the trend. James Kamaramane there for take me through some of them stories and obviously one of them get for do with the political climate, the shift in dimension and paradigm, where therefore do it redistricting. I don't know if that's first on his plate. Mane?
Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, Patrick. Well, and we go on for talk to the citizens first on the status of the human rights, and then we will go to the APC, the reaction to this district division in the country. But first, we want to talk to the citizens in the country about the status of the human rights activities in Salone and how it is. So we send a reporter out and we file in this report.
Regional rights, political rights, and district rights now in Salone. Because the human rights law are all their politicians. A set of people in the form of the organization as a society, all them parties they can power, they work as human rights law, all the good law. Not so for the people they talk for. You understand? They let it push. If the human rights law are in this country, this push for them. Then two, the more that they already happen at the country, if the human rights law are in this is for them. Then three, the lapses where they happen between the executive and the legislative. If the human rights law are in this country, like in London. So what thing that the human rights use to we the people of Sierra Leone? No use they not get. The human rights law are just create a way no more for the government go refund them, back the government people them and the money man there. We the poor people will not get justice and salary. Now the main important thing that the human rights law stand all over the world. Any service human rights law there, then they fight against advantage. Not for money man they fight for human rights law, then for poor people they fight for always in the world. The human rights state not strong in this country. I buy Milan now. I go. Person they come back for me. When other man sell, me don't go buy. Other man don't buy. At the kind of courts I can't summon because they get a cyber office in a police when a land grabbing. The police they fight for buy. Say they send on a court. So na go na court now. Now they report for second buy. Women na me the first person buy. We get legal documents for that. Human rights law they tell we say the documents we out, you know, authentic. Let go count the documents so the person will be get the place. A witness one case na call the so the law, the magistrate tell the law, the complainant to get land. And say let the person go count the documents what the person will sell get the place. I say wow, if that person they be no be get documents or that place there, now protect the property. Time can now people don't want and then back short to sell and give this post here. So it's like we all buy, you don't lost all thing.
In a human rights country, we have another neighbors. Human rights are no signatory to human rights, but Sierra Leone as a whole, all institutions, I want to lack. We don't get institutions then in this country. We don't get institutions then. Other man go ask why you say you don't get institutions. All institutions don't politicize. They don't subjected to a particular government who have their own interest. So they work on the interest of a particular government. So you go watch and say this structure this body they register in this country, but they need a function to the correct functionaries based on the subjected to particular set of people or particular governments. So now make you don't become a white elephant. So when you say white elephants, until they see, you but you need to need to exist in practical. So now that make we will see the human rights in the institution there as a white elephant. Because even the head, a get political party you belong to, and they work in the interest of that political party. For instance, then when they beat journalists, they beat people away, they talk against, when they talk positive something, then they arrest you for that. If there are times for security reasons, they are not going to make mentions for me security reasons because I go fear. But there are times it happens. We all hear and see. Certain times the way batch at any scenario they occur or issue in a particular issue in Sierra Leone, we batch at them. Even human rights lawyers, you know the government come from because they get threatened from the outside. All it's not politicized. Even you are work the correct way, you get threats. And everybody like life.
The human rights situation in this country poor. Because I never think human rights in this country. Human rights for more get money, not for direct man. Human rights. I'm not getting money human rights. Not for the man. Because like me look sad they survive for living and picking there. So my car like by right advantage you go both for good station back support back because I don't go give money station. And they give me your rights. You don't say the advantage too much. Foreign are really come out for the get right pass will be no born in the country. You understand? Because the man are foreign the animal money, the animal money, the other man the hand. So take right give that man the so far with the labor and there. Don't like example how they did now. And also they are on a government side. I can't figure out money but we small they are. They suppress you and that. Then I write down not your rights. Not your rights. You go cancel, go make cancel pull, you say go cancel, go register to cancel, let me cancel for you to find like don't pull here. Don't come put my also pull out no you do. Don't understand, we stand. Say under, we shall do so and do day. Don't understand, I say guys make good under. Guna station no get rights. You no give me rights, so you no get rights what you do under. Go to the cause because me no get money, I no get. Because if I be get me na jagaban, nobody challenge for me rights. We refer to rights.
We for 6 and don't say the rights only in your hand. You understand? We did arrest too now. Like.
Thank you, Patrick. We not get.
See, we not get human rights.
We not get human rights. We get district and regional rights.
Regional rights.
What do you make up of that?
I like the vibe. Well, everybody gets new experience with them also. So, individual experiences now by that way they take express. So you go have to agree with them to some extent, based on your experience. But human rights is not supposed to be termed or defined otherwise.
Sure. Okay. So they go to another story. We see the main opposition, APC party, today make a press release, making a statement against the evaluation way the Minister of Local Government and Community Affairs, Honorable Tamba Lamin, say that they will get 2 new districts then at the country, and as well, Freetown, Western area will be divided into 3. And Lungi also could be called as a district. And we want to get a reaction of the opposition, APC party. So we want to talk to lawyer Abdul Karim Kamara, where himself a member of the APC outreach media team, and as well the statistic and committee member of APC. Good
afternoon, Abdul Karim.
Yeah, good afternoon, my esteemed viewers. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing?
Yes. So would I say more or less this is wrong and misguided statements by the government officials in that declaration in Moyamba a couple of days ago. Why is it so? Why would I say a misguided statement?
Firstly, the statement is misguided, it's unfortunate, and it's a deliberate attempt by the minister for usurp the powers of the president. We repeat, as a party, the statement from the minister was so reckless, it was so unfortunate, and it's a deliberate attempt by the minister for usurp the powers of the president. However, we the APC, they make sure say we regard the constitution of this country jealously, and we're ready for stand tall, for resist any attempts by this government for derail the good efforts they will all they put together for make democracy thrive in a very, very serious and legal way. We as a party believe say the only way to State House is through legitimate means, and thus we stand firm and we stand before we stand by the way of anybody we're ready for challenge and derail the good images of this country. That is why we as a party say the minister gets an act where they regulate in behavior, in conduct, and all in operations. The Local Government Act of 2022 make abundantly clear. Say, now section 2 of the act, in fact, the short title of the act say, creation of localities. Repeat, and repeat again, say section 2 of the Local Government Act, make it clear, say, creation of localities. Make I read what in the section say. It says, subject to subsection 2, the area specified in part 1 of the first schedule shall be localities. Section 2, sub 2 say, it said the president, and also minister, listen carefully. It said the president may, for the purpose of this act and acting on the recommendation of the minister responsible for finance, and the commissioner of the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone, by statutory instrument, listen, by statutory instrument, A, declare any area as a locality. B, assign a name to the locality. C, establish a council for the locality. D, provide for the number of persons constituting the council. E, specify the place where the principal officers of the local council are to be situated. And F, provide for such other matters as are required by this act to be included in the instrument or are consequential to it. This is subsection 2 of 2. It says the president may, for the purposes of this act, acting on the recommendation of the minister, now this minister we go talk to, wait for recommend to president, not say make he can't talk him, but make he can't say cabinet don't approve, we can add 2 new districts. He has got no power to say so.
But AKK, the minister of Information and Civic Education,
and it should not come from him.
Sorry, but the Minister of Information and Civic Education say
this. The APC is saying that statement must not come from the minister.
It's saying that cabinet approved.
Based on the advice, listen, sir, that statement must be made by the president based on the advice of the relevant ministries, i.e., he, the Minister of Local Government, B, the Minister of Finance, and C, the Electoral Commission of the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone. But this is not done. So how on earth can the minister, seated in his convenience, just say, we are going to add 2 new cities, we are going to add 2 new districts? That's unfortunate. The APC, they guard this constitution. The APC, they stand tall for defend the laws of this country. And that pronouncement should not come from a minister.
Yes, but AKK.
President, that is why we say it's a deliberate attempt by the minister, so-called minister, to usurp the powers of the president. But however, even if at the point of the president now being given that authority as provided for by this act, before the president they make that pronouncement, he should be guided by 4 key things. 4 key things. And that is now taking us to subsection 3 of section 2 of the same act. Subsection 3 says, the minister, meaning the Minister of Local Government, the minister responsible for finance, and the commissioner, Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone, shall, making any recommendation under subsection 1, consider A, the population and population density, B, the geographical contiguity, C, the topography, and D, the future growth or expansion of the area. These are the conditions dependent before even we can say now, having fulfilled all the conditions dependent of the conditions provided for by subsection 3 of section 2 of the Local Government Act 2022, it has now pleased the president to declare so place a locality, or so place a new city, or so place a new district. But
okay, so AKK, hello.
Again, before even the president they do this, there should have been a statutory instrument laid in the well of parliament. Try to understand the legalities here, the procedure to follow. It's not just for one person seated there to mention or to make statements so reckless.
So, okay, you want for agree that the past government, hello?
The APC is saying,
you want for agree that the past government may get the same decisions where they may take, where they divide and they get Falaba and Karina district. And now the present governments, they don't do the same thing. You want for think, you not think say you agree say a double standard? You agree with me say now the APC they frown at the decision of the present government. Why is the APC may do the same?
Released as dated, and we stand tall to defending the rights of every Sierra Leonean here and to make sure that this country is governed within the tenets of democracy and the rule of law.
We're afraid.
That's our position.
Okay, we are afraid to get for end that one day because it cannot seem for the get too clear or not seem for the allow you for ask the question. But thank you very much anyway.
We'll get you back some other time.
We'll try to get you subsequently for speak to this issue and maybe any other party stalwart on this very subject matter, because the point is over the period there has been concern, particularly since this happened, say this issue of Tonangi.
And that's a very bad precedent.
On the play out. The last redistricting where being carried Falaba and Karine was also declared by the Minister of Local Government at the time.
Yes, it happened.
So the question around who is supposed to be doing this.
And he's saying that the president is supposed to announce.
Yes,
but they did the last one. I mean, the local government minister may announce at that time.
So the issue of Tonangi, look, that they get an increase in effect.
And Patrick, this press release is very frightening. People would read them. If you look at the second to last paragraph, a call on citizens that say we are calling on all Sierra Leoneans to get ready. The time has come to stand up. The APC will be calling on the people to come out in their numbers peacefully and in full force to demonstrate the rejection of this dangerous manipulation of our national governance and editorial structures. This is very strong. This line is very strong. Calling out citizens for come peacefully. We don't experience what it means for let people.
But you know, the laws in this country say if you get a protest or demonstration, the police need for give clearance.
They need for give you approval.
So how? Well, we don't see over the period how APC people and other activists don't get the request being denied by the police for protests and or demonstrations. So how then they get for span out where the time reach it's a matter of wait and see.
We still do to the same census issue. We go now to Statistics Sierra Leone where they hold a one-day conference where they meet with technical committee members as they present a final census mapping ahead of the 2026 population and housing census. Lassana Kane, we are the Deputy Statistician General, been talk and give the plan, the plan ahead of the census. This event may take place now at the New Breakfast Hotel now Freetong, and John Ablulai may send in this report.
When you talk of digital census, you talk about IT. You have to be able to use tablets, meaning you have to develop instruments, digital instruments. You have to be able to pick locations, meaning you have to be able to use your GPSs. And then whilst in the field, you also now have to sync your information that you collect per interview to the head office or to our cloud. Before now, this was a very difficult thing for us to do. That is why we were doing only paper collection, paper processing. But since 2021, 2022, and going forward, everything we do with data collection is digital. So using IT skills for 2026 census will just enhance our capability. But we already have very strong IT infrastructure in Statistics Sierra Leone.
Strategic document has a background that we have put it together to be able to strengthen geographic foundations for a successful census and surveys. So what we are talking about is that what we have put together is sustainable beyond the census. even to other surveys that will be conducted by the country after the census. And the aim of this strategic document is to guide the planning, execution, and monitoring of all census mapping activities. That is, even before we start, we already have an overview of all that we are going to do and see the way they network together seamlessly to be able to achieve a good census for Sierra Leone. To ensure that every geographic area is accurately delineated, coded, and ready for the enumeration exercise. And it also aims to promote the integration of geospatial technologies in census operations. And this is also to foster collaboration among stakeholders through a clear and transparent mapping framework. Because census is not just for national acceptance, it should also have international acceptance. And that's why we are putting all this together, so that we have a mapping framework, transparent. We are here today for you to critique whatever we have put together, so that at the end of the day, as stakeholders to census, we are all sitting on the same page. And so for that, we have the following objective. We have defined the methodology so that we have a standardized process for the pre-field mapping, the field verification, as well as the EA delineation.
Pageant Queen Mariam Kone, we say the founder for Mariam's Way Foundation. Don't say awareness and education key for wellness. And he say the important for the woman understand their own body. He talked this statement now one menstrual health conference, health hygiene conference on Wednesday, May 28th, na the Radisson Blue Hotel inside Freetongue. Paulina Samba made it and filing this report from the conference.
Where e be dey talk na the conference but menstrual health awareness for mark the celebration of Menstrual Health Day. Mariam Kone, when I be the second runner-up for Miss Salon 2025, share im personal journey and say na out of curiosity bring am to the knowledge of teen dem wey get for do with menstrual cycles and hygiene.
But today we are going to do it different. My interest in this whole feminine hygiene awareness didn't start with a tragic story. It's not. It's out of curiosity. I've always been the most curious girl in the room. I always want to know things. Even during my teenage years, I used to ask my mom lots of questions. Mommy, what to make I make so? What to make this don't do me so? Why are the meds past 1 week? Is it normal? So it was a lot to my parents. So all the things I got to learn were out of curiosity because I wanted to know more. Because at a very young age, I got to realize that my femininity is something I own. It's something that makes me so powerful. Our womanhood is something so delicate, and if only we know how much power we possess, then we'll have more interest in talking about these things. So I decided to do this conference as the push for the right thing to be done.
The 20-year-old used this event for officially launch the Mariam's Ways Foundation. He said the foundation there for empower women them health and address different wellness issues them.
I also want to use this opportunity to officially launch the Mariam's Ways Foundation. This foundation is dedicated to holistic wellness. My team and I believe that for an empowered person, for you to be an empowered person, you have to have an empowered mind, an empowered body, and most importantly, you should come from an empowered from a healthy community.
Gynecologist Dr. Salmadu say for neglect menstrual hygiene go lead to serious health issues, and stress say open conversation about menstrual cycles go increase awareness and encourage better self-care.
But that's not hygienic because you have to change your pad 3 times a day or maybe twice a day. If you're not supposed to not like because some people like they bleed very heavily. Where like within 1 to 2 hours they don't like flop the entire pad. So then kind of they for regularly they change your pad. Okay, it's not hygienic to leave your pad on for more than 6 hours. So if you said they may talk to them, that pad will not take for long. They feel uncomfortable. It feels they feel like they sweat, they become irritating. Then they show say yes, same knowledge for change your pad. And this will make it they begin smell. Oh my way they smell, you know. Now you force to pick them up. You beg as you sit down so they begin put that foul odor. They begin wash first. But they know say there is something wrong. And then because you don't left the pad on for a very long time. And bacteria they grow inside blood, just so you know. So if you left the blood there for a very long time, it encourages bacterial growth that will lead to infection. Okay? So that pad they make people change every 4 to 6 hours.
Dr. Frances Ramatuwuri emphasized the importance of advocacy in our schools and homes because according to Ram, that's now one way for stop the stigma around menstrual cycles. If women then value their body and take wellness seriously, it say them go give back to the different community them.
But these are the things that are important to also have open discussions about. It starts with each individual, wherever you are, wherever you work, wherever you go to school. Because it's not going to be a thing of, oh, we want government to do so. What are you doing? It starts with you. You're the woman. So I remember someone was talking about vagina and vulva. Do you know how many women come in and they're like, me vagina? Like, you can't even see it. It's not even something you can see. So you can't be telling me vagina they this, me vagina they that. You can't, what you see is a vulva. So it starts with you. Know your body. Know what's your normal. Because everybody is different in so many ways. Know what's your normal so that you know how to ensure that you can speak up for yourself.
As discussions wrap up, stakeholders them commit for increased awareness, advocacy, and policy development for promote menstrual health and tap the stigmatization across Salone. Reporting for Slick TV, Mina Paulina Bendu Samba.
Thank you. Now all this we get for now are the news updates for now today.
Thank you, James Kamaramane, for taking us through the headlines and the stories where actually they form the hearing, the reading, and the viewing. Well, this is all we get for you inside this edition of the Today Show, this Thursday edition. Today happened for be the 29th day in May 2025. Thankfully, May they come to an end. About to start a new month. Well, stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe, stay out of trouble. Until we meet tomorrow for a fresh edition and the last edition for this week. Thanks to the production team and to you who take time for watching the show. As always, me, Patrick Salia.
And me, James Kamaramane.